For today's corrections, starting with Jihei. Jihei, you said even it's very hard to control how many chips I should eat. Sorry. I just realized how bad that sounded. We actually have an expression like about chips in the U.S. that once you have one, what is it? You can't just stop at one, or you can't just have one. Mm-hmm. That's the expression that we have about chips. Once you start, you just can't stop. So there's two ways you can say it. Once you start, you just can't stop, or you just can't have one. You said, I'm really sorry, this is going to sound embarrassing. After I eat McDonald's, I really want to eat very sweet sugar things. After having McDonald's, I crave sweet food or sugary food. And then you said about the K-pop band, I cannot feel identity. I don't. Maybe I don't understand what they are. Maybe I don't understand their identity would be a little bit better, or I can't feel what they're trying to achieve. Actually, or in that case, you might even say that their K-pop group doesn't translate well. Mm-hmm. Maybe, yeah. For Yeon, first to start with a question that you asked, you said, what kind of hamburger did you take? What kind of hamburger did you have? Or what did you have to eat? Then you said it tastes not as good because 0 calorie. When you were talking about diet soda, it doesn't taste as good. And maybe you don't have to explain because it's 0 calorie. I mean, it's kind of known when you have diet sodas. Then you said I was at her concert. She has very nice voice and good manners for stage. She has a nice voice. Sometimes you can just say she has a voice. When you're talking about singers, they have a voice, or they have a great voice, or great vocals. She has great vocals and excellent stage manners. Misan, I prepared very perfectly. When you were talking about your 1-minute speech, I perfected it. Mm-hmm. I perfected it, just like that. I applied visit to Cheonmae, is that how you say Cheonmae? By 2 weeks earlier. I purchased, or I reserved our tickets 2 weeks earlier. Or I reserved our tickets to Cheonmae 2 weeks earlier. You don't have to say by 2 weeks earlier. Yeah. Or 2 weeks before. 2 weeks before is better. You can take a photo in the office of president. You can take photos in a mock presidential office. When something is a mock, it's like a model. Yeah. MOCK. Kind of like a fake version. Yeah. In a mock presidential office. I enjoyed how the is this right? Daehanjago? Is that how you say it? Is made?
Yeah, Daehanjago.
Okay. I enjoyed. Is this for like a YouTube channel, or what was it for?
Is it for Old Palace Museum?
Oh, okay. Okay. I enjoyed learning about how it's made.
Yeah.
And then in Saturday, I visit Everland because I have membership of Everland. So then you're just kind of repeating it and making a run on. Last Saturday, since we have a membership to Everland, we went there, or we went to visit.
Okay.
And then he won. He advised the little children as guests there. When you were talking about the TV show, he hosted little children as guests. And then you don't have to say it there, just leave it out. I like to watch some performance, like some singing or some dancing. There's a lot of some. I like watching singing and dancing performances. And then he's like a big star in some music industry. I noticed a lot of times you say some. So I just wanted to clear up. He's a big star in the music industry. And when you're trying to explain something in English, this happens quite often for a lot of people who, even for people that are very good at speaking in English, a lot of people sound very passive when speaking in English because there's maybe because of the difference in the languages. So if you're trying to speak more effectively, especially for like in the workplace, or even if you're like going on a date or somebody, and you're trying to explain something, and then that person doesn't quite understand, you always want to be more direct. Some of the professional people that I work with, they're never telling me the truth. I ask, oh, how's it going with this project? Oh, it's going very terrible. And then the next week they'll be like, we finished, it was a success, but it was still very terrible. So, and I understand why, because of the culture, but in English it's very indirect, and we take it as passive. So, and then culturally we will ask, okay, well, was it terrible or was it successful? Tell me which one, just like that. That is our corrections for today. Let's go.